Hello everybody, Phenomenal Sir here, back with another episode of The First 15, the series where I play the first 15 minutes of new or underexposed indie games, and then share my thoughts and feelings about them. Now, as you may have figured out, today's game is City of Scrap. So, let's see what the developers have in the way of information about this game. City of Scrap is a 2D exploration and combat-based game demo set in a ruined city overrun by rogue robots. You play as Scrap, a modular combat robot sent to the city to discover the root of the problem and deal with the malfunctioning robots. So the demo / game features 2 unique areas to explore, a variety of upgrades to find hidden throughout the world, 2 devilish bosses to dismantle, and 6 types of enemies to shred to scrap. It does have controller support and variable resolutions, which I'm thinking means that there are multiple ways to solve certain puzzles, but I guess we'll find out. The game is listed as a prototype. It's in prototype status, but it's currently supported on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. And it was originally published May 20th of 2020. Last update was September 20th of 2020. So that's almost 5 months since they've had an update. I guess we'll see when we jump in what state it's in, and hopefully, it's not one of those games that's just absolutely awesome and they've given up on it. Also, it's listed under Goggles Kitty as the developer, but according to the information here, there's actually 3 authors: Goggles Kitty, Cinema 113, and Aeon, Aeion. So, without further ado, let's jump into it and see what trouble we can get into in the City of Scrap. So, we've got 15 minutes on the clock. We are prepped and ready, so let's do this. I will say I instantly like the art aesthetic. Pew. Okay. And I do have my little Xbox controller here, so I'm going to be playing with an Xbox controller. So, oh shoot, we've got all my info's in the top left corner. Hang on. We're going to pause the timer because I want you to be able to see what I'm looking at here. There we go. That's as good of a place as any, right? Yeah. And resume. Jump module damaged. Seek replacement. Okay. Whee! Well, there's no fall damage. So I just can't go that way then, because my jump module is damaged. Okay. Press up or down to aim up or down, and these are supposed to be triggers. Press left trigger or right trigger to aim diagonally up or down. I will say that it makes sense to me, but where it says press and it looks like it's saying press left to close, what they mean is west-facing key. So if you're playing on a PS4 controller, it would be a square, and if you're playing on an Xbox controller, it would be X. It took me a second to figure out what that actually meant. Okay, well, I got the one thing at least. I don't think I'm going to be killing that one. Sorry, guys. Oof. Well, I like the music. Oh, I died like a child. Okay, so I just mush up against the wall and just go for it. Whew. Okay, I think I know what I need to do for this bad boy. Don't you even play like you're gonna get me, brother. Yeah, spring boots. Press, and that's gonna be A to jump. Oh, nice. It's kind of a heavy jump, but he's a robot, right? Game saved. Nice. I like it because it's obviously it's a Metroidvania style game to some degree, but I like it because with the enemies so far actually make me think of like a Mega Man game, with the way they're animated and that kind of thing. I don't know why that is, but they just do. Oh well, that was silly, wasn't it? I just dropped back to where I started. Just something about the little like yoing, yoing, like the enemies are kind of like, you know, they're a threat because they're enemies, but they also have like some level of ridiculous to them. Like it's a roadblock. It's a jumping roadblock. Why is this dangerous? I will say that aiming down with the controller feels less good than aiming up, obviously, because you can't, you know, it's a little difficult. You gotta like hold the controller a little weird to be able to hold while you're shooting. Oh, oh. I know how this works. I played Mega Man 2. I know how to handle conveyor belts with pistons on them. Oh, I gotta actually do the thing down. Okay. And then press X again to get out. I'm wondering what the significance of these lights is, because the area is lit, you know. It's lit. Yeah, I'm not wild about shooting downwards. I'm hoping I don't have to do a whole lot of diagonal down shooting. Ooh, that's like, is that like a max health up, or is that just health? I would assume that it's... Oh, I felt like an idiot. Oh, no. My health. My tasty health. Okay, so I'm assuming that that's something that is just going to, like, increase your max health, because I haven't actually seen any health regenerating items yet. New area. New threats. Yep. Even the rats are robots. What? Oh my god, it's like Mega Man. You can't shoot things that are small on the ground in front of you. I guess you gotta like jump and shoot them. I don't like that. That's awkward to have to run and then jump like that. I mean, obviously my legs bend because I can jump and I can run, right? So I feel like I should be able to crouch. That is definitely like an old school Mega Man holdover to not be able to crouch and shoot. And literally every enemy now is gonna be like that. I was actually in the process of saying, like, man, I hope that they don't have me shooting a lot of enemies on the ground in front of me. Well, I hope that's a safe spot. Okay. Oh, I pressed select and something happened. Okay. Whew. Okay, so I definitely can't make it over there yet. So I guess I'll go back this way. Ah, fudged it. Well, I missed that one drop off to the side. Dang it all. I'm not going that way. And jump! Ha ha! Ah, nothing. I feel like I should be rewarded for my... There's an evil rat there. What? Okay, so that guy dropped health. And I was just wondering, why is it that none of the enemies drop, like, health ups? And then it seems like that one dropped way too many health ups. That was, like, enough health to fill me from empty to full, like, 6 times. Brothers. No, brother, don't hurt me. Brother? Oh, well, okay. Okay, so I know there was something in the information that said that green enemies and doors that have green stuff on them, you have to have like an upgraded weapon to destroy them. So I guess that's... I just need to get a better weapon. I need to get good. Oh, but see, look, now that enemy dropped health. So is it maybe that I'm just terrible and had bad luck? Oh, shit. Oh, well, this is gonna suck. Bro. Okay. Just try to hit me again so I can not screw this up. Pretty sure I'm gonna lose right here. Yeah, I died. Can't go that way. Oh, yes, I can. Okay. So that actually does nothing for me anyway. Cool. Oh, well, I thought I was smarty, but I was not. Probably should have done that the first time around, huh? Oh, that's another green door. Come up here. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna drop into the room, and then when I fight him, I'll come out that door with the green blaster, and then I'll be able to. Okay, makes sense. Oof, oof. Try to hit me. Try to hit me. So if I just stand here, I should be fine, yeah. No, I shouldn't because you slot... Scrap cannon. Penetrate green heavy armor at the cost of scrap. Press select to switch weapons. Oh, and then I just fucking died. Okay. So is this like an automatic thing, or do you have to bait him? I think you have to bait him. Seems like he's taking a lot more damage that time around than the last time, huh? Okay, so... And then we... Alrighty. So now we've gotten access to a lot more things, right? So there's that at least. That's fine then, as long as I can make it. And that is it. Okay, let me get back to the main menu. So, let's unpack this. Now, I want to start by saying that I really, really, really like Metroidvania games. I've played quite a few of them over the years. And I think that while the Metroidvanias did experience something of a renaissance in the late 2000s, early 2010s, when we moved away from like the SNES and the Sega and over to like more 3D games, classic Metroidvanias kind of took a back seat for a while. And I think the indie game scene is kind of what helped bring them back. And there are a fair number of Metroidvania indie games out there nowadays. So I've never seen a Metroidvania I didn't like, but I'll be honest, in its current state, I'm not wild about this one, and for a very specific reason. I'm not sure if the developers were going for a Metroidvania feel, or if they were going for a long-form Mega Man game. Because there were a few things here that I noticed that that made me feel like I was playing more of a Mega Man than a Metroidvania. And overall, I think it's definitely, the game is in prototype form. They say it's in prototype form. But there's a few things here that I see that are really, I think, preventing this game from getting to the next level. So, for me, first of all, the atmospheric quality of the background music is nice. The ambient music is nice. It's a little repetitive after a while. it doesn't impart a sense of urgency or adventure on the player when you're playing it. It's just kind of depressing, which, looking at this picture, it looks like a pretty depressing world. Um, but when you get into the boss fights, the music doesn't really change, which suggests that things are not more serious when the boss is around, if that makes sense. Like if you're wandering along through this rusted scrap heap of a world, and you're just like, I'm fighting broken bulldozers and roadblocks, and the world is dead. Oh, woe is me. And then a monster that's like, actually several magnitudes larger than you appears and attacks you, and you still feel like, oh, woe is me. I don't know if you're giving the right sense of urgency and danger. And I think that could very easily be addressed by simply having a separate music track for the bosses. You don't even have to have different music for each individual boss. Just have a good bumping song for boss fights in general. So when that music gets started, players know, oh, okay, it's on. Because as it was, I didn't really feel like I was under threat. When I fought the first boss, it was pretty much instantly obvious what I needed to do. I did it, and I kept moving. My pulse didn't quicken or anything like that. I would say not being able to crouch is kind of a weird choice for a Metroidvania like this, because you have 8 directional shooting. So you have a robot that can shoot up, down, left, right, diagonal in every direction, but anything that's less than a foot tall, he's effed. If he can't jump, he can't kill it. And that just seems a little weird to me, that you'd think that he could just crouch, because obviously his knees bend because he can jump. The lack of a map I did notice. I mean, obviously it's a demo, and you can only cover so much progress. But I think I saw in the comments where the full game is like an hour long. So if you're playing a Metroidvania style game for an hour and you don't have a map, you're probably going to get lost. Unless the layout is more simplistic than these early areas would lead me to believe. I do like how you hint at later powers. The first one, you gotta beat them over the head with it by saying, you can't jump! And then you immediately go get your jump, which was kind of like, oh, well, why couldn't I do it all along then? If I was going to get it in 5 minutes anyway. It seems like a way to just force the player to backtrack a little bit to get the stuff that they missed. But I do like the hooks and things, and seeing like, oh, okay, this is going to be something I'll be able to do later. The gun changing mechanic, honestly, I think that you are breaking the action up by pressing select to pull up a menu, because it looks like you're going to have 3, maybe 4 different gun types. I don't know if you're planning to have something where you can page over to other stuff, but for me, I think you could get away with, if you're only going to have 3 or 4 weapon types or 3 or 4 things that you can do with that button, I think you could get away with just pressing select to cycle through and having some sort of visual cue for the player to let them know what weapon they're using. I also don't know how I feel about being able to use the scrap as ammo, simply because it doesn't feel like the weapon is an upgrade if you're going to have to lose a resource to use it, if that makes sense. If you make, well, you can't really, I was going to say if you make the regular blaster use like 1 scrap, and then the scrap cannon use 2 scraps, then maybe, but that wouldn't really work either, right? Because what do you do if you run out of scrap? And that's something that you need to consider, because you have to ask yourself, is it ever, like, as you're designing your areas, if you have a gun where that gun is used to open and close doors, and it seems like if you go through the door and then turn around and come back, like you have to, like it turns green again, You just have to be wary of accidentally trapping the player. If I go into the room and I'm just a bad shot, or I'm not paying attention and I use up all my scrap, you're going to have to constantly be checking to make sure that you're not trapping the player in an unbeatable room because they used up all their scrap ammo. Um, I know it sounds like I'm saying a whole lot of really bad things about the game, but I'm really not. I just can see that I can see the potential for it. I love the aesthetic. You got the silent protagonist thing down. You've got the basic idea of the world down, but I think that this is definitely one that I would consider a prototype and not a beta, because I don't see. And again, I've only played the first 15 minutes, so I don't know what the rest of it looks like. If I played the first 15 minutes of an hour-long demo, I don't know what the rest is going to look like. But based on my first impression, it feels like there's a lot missing there. And again, like I said, it feels like I'm playing a Metroidvania Mega Man crossover. And I like both of those genres, but I don't know if I would like for them to have a kid. Um, Other than that, the only other thing I could say is that with the health bar being so small, I could see that being a little aggravating later on for boss fights. I did get a little aggravated with that one boss because it was such a slow-paced fight for me to get killed. I was like, oh, here, I gotta walk back and start over again. And the hit detection on the where you're standing on the boss, like, it seems obvious to me that you're supposed to stand on the boss. So for the boss to just like skeet out from under you as he's moving while you're standing on him seems a little weird to me. That kind of threw me for a loop. I don't think I've ever seen a Metroidvania where like you stand on a boss or on a moving enemy and the enemy just out from under you. And I think that's just a matter of tweaking how that boss works, how that boss fight works. Again, all of that is to say I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's a game that has potential, and that's the category I'm going to class it in. But I do think that you need a little more work on it overall. Um, so, yeah. I will have a link for anybody who's watching to the game below. And I do encourage you to come check this game out periodically. Hopefully more updates are to come. I do think that the developer has a good starting foundation here, and I want to see this game do well. But in the meantime, thank you everybody for watching. Be sure to check out all of my other first 15 videos and all the other videos on my YouTube. And if you haven't already, be sure to follow me on Twitter so that you get updates on the games that I'm planning to play next, both for this series, for my other YouTube series, and for my streams on Twitch. And until next time, stay healthy out there and stay safe. Bye.